Ryan Reynolds is now trying to bully the court to try to put financial pressure on Justin Baldoni. You were the ones who started the law.
The narrative shifted dramatically when Blake Lively's own legal representation became an unexpected source of exposure. What had been carefully managed behind closed doors suddenly surfaced, placing both Lively and Ryan Reynolds under intensified scrutiny. Instead of containing the damage, internal legal fractures began revealing how aggressively the situation had been controlled. According to those familiar with the fallout, this wasn't a strategic leak, it was a breakdown in trust. What emerged was not just a legal dispute, but evidence of how far the couple's team had gone to prevent the controversy from reaching daylight.
Lively and Mr. Reynolds are now seeking sanctions on the purported ground that certain allegations in their
Attorney-client privilege is designed to protect honest legal counsel, not shield reputational maneuvering. But that protection weakens quickly when clients attempt to shift blame to preserve their public image. Legal experts note that when lawyers are pressured to carry out questionable strategies, the relationship changes. Counsel is no longer an advocate, it becomes a liability buffer. And when attorneys refuse to cross ethical lines, they sometimes become the most credible voices in the room, especially when the record begins to speak for itself.
Fact it is Mr. Reynolds and Miss Lively's sanctions motion that are.
Tensions escalated when Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's team allegedly attempted to involve their attorney in a tactical move against Justin Baldoni. The request centered on filing sanctions, an aggressive procedural maneuver meant to penalize an opposing party. But instead of complying, the attorney declined and documented the exchange. According to sources familiar with the filings, that refusal triggered a broader exposure of the strategy behind the request. Rather than containing the dispute, the effort widened it, drawing attention to how the legal process was being used and potentially misused.
You guys are trying to force down a narrative, and we are refusing to accept.
Insiders say Reynolds' team sought sanctions not because the lawsuit lacked substance, but because it posed an inconvenience. In legal terms, sanctions are intended to address abuse of the court system, not suppress claims before evidence is examined. Had the attorney followed through, experts say the consequences could have been severe. Filing a sanctions motion without factual or legal grounding can expose counsel to professional discipline, including loss of licensure. That risk was reportedly made explicit. The attorney clarified that the court cannot be used as a deterrent tool simply because a case threatens reputation or momentum.
You don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away and blah, 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 blah. You are so out of touch. It's what.
Courts are not instruments of image control. Legal professionals emphasize that status, wealth, or celebrity do not alter procedural safeguards. Attempts to intimidate an opposing party through premature motions often backfire. This is why the refusal mattered. Rather than facilitating a questionable filing, the attorney documented the pressure and stepped away. That decision placed him at the center of the controversy not as a participant, but as a boundary setter. His stance reframed the dispute, shifting attention from public relations narratives to the integrity of the legal process itself.
You guys started this lawsuit. Let's not forget, you were the ones who started the lawsuit, and Justin's proven fairly that a lot of what your wife is saying didn't seem to happen.
At the core of the dispute was a demand for monetary sanctions, an effort to impose financial penalties on Justin Baldoni while the case was still in its early stages. But procedurally, the lawsuit had not yet reached discovery. Discovery is the phase where evidence is gathered, witnesses are deposed, and claims are tested. Attempting to bypass that step raised immediate red flags. Legal analysts describe such a move as highly unusual and potentially coercive. From a broader perspective, the stakes extend beyond this single lawsuit. Reynolds is navigating the pressure of protecting his remaining major studio commitments, particularly those tied to Disney. While his contracts are long-standing, they are not unconditional. Morals clauses allow studios to distance themselves if conduct creates reputational risk. Multiple industry sources say Disney leadership is monitoring the situation closely, concerned that ongoing legal aggression could spill into corporate liability. The result is a quiet but consequential shift. Reynolds has not been removed outright, but he has been isolated, fewer appearances, reduced visibility, and stalled momentum. In corporate terms, it's containment. What makes this moment pivotal is perception. Aggressive legal tactics intended to silence scrutiny often appear defensive rather than confident. And in high-profile cases, perception can be as damaging as a verdict. As the case moves forward, the question is no longer just about legal outcomes. It's about whether a carefully built public brand can withstand sustained examination, or whether control itself has become the central vulnerability.